2 seconds. Shorty, so I missed your birthday. I was kind of in a little. What? Sorry. I'm sorry about that. I was really out of line.
WrestleMania 38 is in the books. So tonight, Monday Night Raw after Mania, they say the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, who just returned to WWE during night one of WWE WrestleMania 38 on Saturday night, will kick off the show this evening. So we'll see what he has to say as he posted on one of the social media channels. And thank you for tuning in and listening to my live watch along reactions of WWE Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 38 live right here on YouTube, youtube.com/Gridiron Ring. As always, I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool Hand Luke 96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Hit that thumbs up button. Share hashtag WWE, hashtag WWE Raw. Chat questions and comments, super chat, super stickers, always greatly appreciated as well. But yes, after Cody returned, after 6 long years gone from the WWE, now he's back with the company. He had posted on social media that he would have a live mic in his hand come Monday Night Raw. So, as mentioned, we'll see what he has to say to kick off the show. Veer will finally come. He's going to arrive on Monday Night Raw tonight. Even though, of course, he's been wrestling on Main Event for God knows how long at this point in time now. So those two things have officially been announced, along with the new undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion of the World, the big dog tribal chief who sits at the head of the table, who we should all acknowledge, who's on God mode, Roman Reigns, will also be on Raw this evening. Of course, last night in the main event, defeating the Beast Incarnate Brock Lesnar. There's potential that, with rumors circulating, unfortunately, with a bit of an injury scare last night, the bloodline's been running strong for almost 2 years now since he returned at SummerSlam in 2020. Hasn't lost the title since. He's now the undisputed champ. However, it seems like he has a shoulder injury. I had said over the weekend that even if he does become the undisputed champion, which he, of course, ended up doing just that I would think at some point in time, unless they're going to have him be the undisputed champion for the next year before he beats Rock next year at WrestleMania, that they would, split the titles, have, one champion as it's been on Raw and SmackDown, respectively. But if not, okay, he's the undisputed champ, and he's holding 2 titles high in the air, as he did last night to end WrestleMania, as Raw begins, of course, with the Then Now Forever Together WWE opening video package, and now a recap with this video package as well, with highlights from WrestleMania 38 this past weekend, the most stupendous 2-night event in WrestleMania history. Was it stupendous? I don't know if I'd say that by any means, but it was a good show. I thought it was a good show. Of course, as always, for anything, could have been better. There were the highs and the lows. There were, a few good things per night, I thought. We'll see where they go from here. Overall, though, from start to finish, both nights, pretty damn good WrestleMania compared to the past 2 years. you got to go back a good 3 to 5 years for this WrestleMania to stack up against one of those show of shows. But yeah, they, as I was saying, have only announced 3 segments for tonight. That's Cody Rhodes kicking off the show. We'll hear from Roman Reigns at some point in time, potentially in the main event. And then Veer's finally going to come. Veer's going to be on Raw tonight. So they say, unless they decide, just to run another video package with him and saying he's coming now next week, to keep us waiting, a little bit longer. But yes, wrestling does have more than one royal family, and we're going to have some adrenaline on our soul to kick off Raw here tonight as this recap continues to kick off the show. Let me know in the comments below, of course, what you thought of WrestleMania this year. And once again, thank you for tuning in and listening. Audio only, live watch along reactions of WWE Monday Night Raw after Mania here tonight. We had 3 title changes, 2 in the women's division, and then 1 technically, if you want to count Reigns, defeating Lesnar as well, which technically he did. But of course, he walked in as a champion, and now he walks out as a double champ, as the undisputed champ. But we also did see Stone Cold Steve Austin wrestle, along with the chairman of the board, Vincent Kenny McMahon. Mr. McMahon wrestled this past weekend as well at Mania. But we're going to get into a full recap of Mania at some point in time tonight, as mentioned last night. So, yeah, we'll see where they go from here, because this is basically the new year for the WWE. They'll plant seeds for the next calendar year. They'll be on to WrestleMania Backlash next month, Hell in a Cell, followed by Money in the Bank, and then SummerSlam. Oh, hell yeah. But yeah, night 1 was good. Wrestling-wise, probably a little bit better than yesterday. Sunday's Cardo entertainment purposes. Stone Cold. And that is the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. But, yeah. Just from start to finish, good show. Here's Reigns Lesnar highlight. And he looked like he injured his left shoulder on a spear ringside into the timekeeper's area. And then when Lesnar had him in that armbar, when the camera was right on him before the rope break, before the awkward finish that seemed pretty quick, you could hear him saying, "It's out, my shoulder, it's out." And then you could see, the ref talking to Brock, like, "Hey, we're going to go home here." And then a push off the ropes, spear by Reigns, cover 1, 2, 3, and Reigns is your undisputed WWE Universal champ. And if he is going to take time off because he's injured, well, they could just, have him vacate the WWE title, figure something out there, and then he's still your Universal Champion, on the shelf. And then when he comes back, the date streak's still intact, and he can still go back to everything planned for. But only time's going to tell over the next 3 hours or so here what is in store here tonight. And wrestling, as the lights go out, has more than one royal family. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, is back in the WWE. Cody chants from the crowd. Hashtag WWE Raw. And he left WWE after WrestleMania 32. Went the indie route over to New Japan. Too Sweet Me joined the Bullet Club. Started AEW with Omega and the Bucks, among a few others, and decided it was come back to WWE. And he's kicking off Raw tonight after he returned Mania on Saturday and defeated Seth frickin' Rollins. So nothing really has changed for Raw just yet. They, of course, did have to bring out a little setup for Cody for his entrance, for him to rise from the ground. But, of course, this is the same, because they're in Dallas still, same setup they had for SmackDown and the Hall of Fame on Friday. Of course, TakeOver Saturday before Mania Night 1, 2 nights of Mania at AT&T Stadium, Raw for Mania Night. So, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes gets some pyro. He laughs that off. Cody is, in fact, back. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts and opinions on that. But the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, the grandson of a plumber, son of the late great American Dream, Dusty. Whether he's a part of Legacy, the Nightmare family, or hell, even Stardust, Cody Rhodes is back in WWE. So he's in a suit and tie. How much you want to bet he starts off with saying something along the lines of, what do you guys want to talk about? But in all seriousness, I mean, good for the WWE to bring him back, for one. I mean, honestly, as mentioned in AEW recently for him, I mean, I did see in person his last AEW match now, the ladder match at Beach Break against Sammy Guevara for the TNT title. But, you know, as of late, he was just putting over a lot of talent. You know, he really wasn't doing a hell of a lot. You know, so it's a big win for the WWE, but I don't really think it's that big of a loss for AEW, to be honest with you. Like, WWE's going to be fine with him unless, you know, he's going to be Stardust 3 months from now with his complex contract he signed. But Cody Chance, he has a mic in his hand. I'll shut up and we'll see what he has to say. I'm sure somebody's coming out and then they'll start a feud, you know, with whoever it's going to be. But welcome back, chat now for Cody. And once again, he is in fact back in the WWE. But yeah, he really wasn't doing a lot recently in AEW. And big win for the WWE, but in my opinion, not really that big of a loss for AEW. They'll be fine. WWE will be fine, you know, with him now too. So the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes kicks off Monday Night Raw. He's speechless. He doesn't know what to say. He's just embracing this crowd.
So, what do you guys want to talk about?
Told ya. So, what do you guys want to talk about?
It has been 47 days since the abrupt news that I was a
47 days since the news came out that he was a free agent and he was going to be leaving.
And I heard stories.
The worst kept secret in pro wrestling, as he said.
That surmise to be nonsense.
Which is, no doubt about it, probably true.
To return to WWE was difficult.
Difficult to return.
It was not.
It was not difficult, he says.
It was simple, really.
Really simple.
The star that left them in
The star that left them in
the dust.
the dust. Why don't you do the pose like you did? A multi-year agreement with WWE. Very complex, as he stated. You deserve it chant now. Of course, they paid him, but to him, I don't think it's about the money. I don't. As mentioned Saturday, I said I feel like it's, more like him coming back to continue and potentially end, when he wants to end it on his own terms, the Rhodes legacy. Doubt was eradicated with his match against Seth frickin' Rollins.
It said a man often finds his destiny on the path he takes to avoid it.
That's true. That's very true.
So if you'll humor me, let's all take a look at the Tron, if you will.
We're going to look at the Tron. And we go to 1977 MSG, and there's Dusty winning a championship. Dusty chant now from the crowd.
Right there is my father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. It's so simple to say that's my father, but in reality, yeah, he's a legend.
Dusty's a legend, no doubt about it.
He's a son of a plumber.
He's a son of a plumber, which makes Cody grandson of a plumber and the son of the late great American Dream. More Dusty chants from the WWE Universe. Looks like a sold-out crowd in North Texas.
It was taken in 1977, Madison Square Garden. That very photo right there. He is holding the championship belt that eventually Hulk Hogan would get his hands on.
Boos to Hulk Hogan. And then some cheers for a few others.
Oh, and Triple H too.
Triple H too, says Cody.
And many other greats. I'm going to tell you.
Let's go.
Made this all very simple to me. This photo. This very
As they have a Dusty picture up on the screen. Yeah, let's go destroy the throne. Potentially use the pedigree in your first match back as well.
As I got hit to the industry, I worked up a little courage, and I remember I asked them, and I worded it very poorly. I said, I didn't know that you were a champion like Hulk Hogan.
I didn't know you were a champion like Hogan.
He looked at me
What'd Dusty say?
with the same eyes that Liberty has, and he said, very stern.
You can tell Cody's getting emotional.
He explained to me the champion's advantage. He said that he had won the match, but because it was by count out, he did not take home the championship belt.
He won, but he didn't win. Yeah. Champion's advantage that still is intact today.
What's a boy to do?
What's a boy to do?
Right then and there, at 8 years old, I knew not what I wanted to do, what I needed to do.
What I wanted to be.
This championship belt right here. I was going to place it. I was going to bestow it into the
He wants the championship is, what he's getting at.
Take it away from you now. And there are many here tonight who have followed my journey, but for those who are new to it, unfortunately, that dream died.
The dream died, says Cody Rhodes.
That opportunity passed.
The opportunity passed.
opportunity passed. Or did it?
Or did it? The opportunity passed, or did it?
Put that title belt into my father's hands. I cannot bestow it upon the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, but I certainly can put it around the waist of the American Nightmare.
He can put it around the waist himself. As mentioned this weekend, I'm not going to be shocked because I feel it'll be a big disappointment if they don't have him win a championship. Not the championship, but a championship, but then even, more so not the main championship, but not to defeat Roman. But if he's injured, well, that's a different story. You deserve it, Chant. Because him returning is a big deal. It is, no doubt about it. But recently for, WWE superstars that left the company and have since returned, they've also won the WWE Championship since coming back. Speaking of Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, so you can add Cody Rhodes to that, conversation potentially at, some point in time down the line if that does in fact happen. But Cody's going to do it. He's going to do it for us, for him, for his family. He's going to do it for his father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And now here comes Seth frickin' Rollins burning it down. So for the time being, it seems like they're going to be continuing this feud. But Rollins, of course, with the flames, color scheme-wise, changing up the red and black to a pinkish purple and black, it looks like. But crowd chanting, singing along, if you will, with the continuing to burn it down as he makes his entrance. But, on Raw, championship contenders, you have these two. You have Cody Rhodes, you have Seth Rollins, in no particular order either, along with AJ Styles and Edge, Kevin Owens, to name a few. But we'll see what Rollins has to say here, as he's also in a suit and tie. So, honestly, couldn't have asked for, a better start now, I guess, for Raw after Mania, especially with past few years for Raw after Mania sort of been subpar. And of course, nothing as it used to be by any means, but Cody cuts his promo, damn good one at that. Rollins comes out as he finishes. Crowd still singing along. So we'll see what the architect has to say. As they stare each other down face to face. And Cody throws the mic. Just tosses it away. Cody puts his right hand out. We'll see if Rollins shakes his hand or not. Yes chant from the crowd. And Rollins does just that. So, a code of honor, if you will. It has Cody's music hits. Rollins going to exit the ring, so that'll do it, it looks like, for the opening segment. As mentioned, they advertised Veer to finally come, and then Roman Reigns at some point in time tonight, too. But that's it. Everything else is going to be added in. Jimmy Smith, Byron Saxton, Corey Graves on commentary. So, the undisputed Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, will be on Raw tonight, as he is your WWE and WWE Universal Champion now after defeating the Beast Incarnate Brock Lesnar last night at WrestleMania to become the Undisputed Universal Champion. We'll have RK Bro and Finn Balor team up to take on the Usos and Austin Theory. So that should be a good 6-man tag. That'll be tonight on Raw. The Raw Tag Team Champions and the United States Champion, RK Bro, Matt Riddle, Randy Orton, Finn Balor, to take on the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Usos, Jimmy and Jey Uso, and Austin Theory. So, looking at that graphic, okay, you have your 2 champs, and then potentially Austin Theory could be next in line for the U.S. title. But Bianca Belair will also be on Raw later on, as she's, of course, the new Raw Women's Champion as well. But in the meantime, we're going to feel the glow with one half of the new Women's Tag Team Champions, Naomi. I would assume Sasha is going to come out here in a second. And we'll probably have a Women's Tag Team match, if I'd have to guess. Hell, maybe even a Fatal 4-way rematch from last night as well. I could see that happening, to be honest with you. But as we feel the glow, it's now what time, Michael Cole? Oh, that's right, boss time. And they are Naomi and Sasha Banks, your new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Championship contenders match. Hell, they've been doing this shit for a good year now. And then, payoff-wise, come to pay-per-view, half the time it doesn't equal out. Like, they just sort of, it seems like, have these matches to, not necessarily fill time, but just to have them, for God's sakes, to have a match. But up next on Raw, Champions Contenders match, it'll be Naomi and Sasha taking on the other women's tag team that I thought had the best chance to win other than them, in Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan when we return. And now a WrestleMania 39 video package for next year's Showcase of the Immortals from Hollywood, Saturday and Sunday, April the 1st and 2nd, 2023. So, less than a year away, but we're just coming off of Mania 38. Even though that'll be here before we know it, that's still a long ways away. Of course, we're off to Mania night, SmackDown on Friday. Then we'll be getting into the thick of it for the build for WrestleMania Backlash. Talk about rematches. I'm sure we'll see a few then. And be sure to tune back in live right here on YouTube for those live watch-along reactions as well. But after Mania Backlash, got Hell in a Cell, along with Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. But honestly, tonight, just interested to, see how good the show is going to be from start to finish. If it's going to be, a Raw after Mania to remember or not. As, they plant seeds for, what they plan on doing next. End of the day, though, they're going to do what they want. It is what it is. We'll live with it one way or another, whether we're bitching about it or not. But, a good start to Raw. Women's tag team match coming up next. I would think the other 2 tag teams, maybe even some new women's tag teams that'll be up on the main roster, could, get involved one way or another. Of course, speaking of Natalya and Shayna Baszler, who I thought had the least chance to win that Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team Championship match last night. Just because, both are typically normally in a, mixed tag. Natalya seems like tagged with everybody in history in the women's division, and, Shayna just got off a tag team with Nia Jax before they fired her. So you sort of got to feel bad for both of them, to be honest with you. But, of course, the champions weren't going to be retaining. Speaking of Zelina Vega and Carmella. It seems like they're going to split them and potentially have a singles feud at some point in time. But it was either going to be who won, Naomi and Sasha, or who they're facing tonight with Rhea and Liv. And so now we'll get that singles match. Well, excuse me, a singles tag team match, 2-on-2 rather than the Fatal 4-Way, I should say. But yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if those other teams get involved. Of course, since it's not a title match, just a contenders match, like Naomi and Sasha, even with just winning the titles, they can probably afford to lose this upcoming match. But, will they? Probably not. We'll probably have a screwy finish if I'd have to guess. But, yeah, so Cody kicked off the show. It looks like he's going to be on Monday Night Raw moving forward. But, well, we haven't had the SmackDown after Mania though yet either. That's this upcoming Friday night. So, Cody, now this women's tag. Still to come, though, Veer and Roman Reigns, and then everything else will be, as mentioned, just added in as they see fit when they announce it. And that's when we will, in fact, find out. But just once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. Audio only. WWE Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 38 live watch long reactions live here on YouTube, youtube.com/GridironRing. I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool Hand Luke 96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. The thumbs up button. Share. Hashtag WWE. Chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers. Always greatly appreciated. Meantime, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan get a jobber entrance during the commercial break. And they're going to battle the new women's tag champs, Naomi and Sasha, right now on Monday Night Raw. As mentioned earlier, too, we will, in fact, give a full recap of WrestleMania 38 from this past weekend as well. So stay tuned for that. But bell rings, match underway. Here we go. Naomi and Sasha, Rhea and Liv, Naomi and Rhea starting things off. Big headbutt to the chest. Vertical suplex. Just holding her there in midair. Liv count to 5, more like 10. And now Rhea's gonna slam her down on a vertical suplex. She's still holding her there. So it has to be a good 20, 25, 30 seconds at this rate. Now she throws her down. Cover. 1, 2, and a kick out.
Is there such a thing as that post-WrestleMania hangover? It's hard to stay on top. You're buzzing, you're thrilled, you're ecstatic, and you have to turn around and take on a tough challenge.
Off the ropes goes Naomi. Rhea misses with a kick. Naomi now reversing with some kicks of her own. Tags in Sasha Banks. And they're going to running bulldog into the middle turnbuckle, it looked like there. Sasha's legal. Actually, Naomi's legal. I guess she tagged back in and a cover before a breakup by Liv. So this match will, in fact, continue. Tonight on Raw, we'll have an NXT Championship match. Dolph Ziggler and Rex Steiner, Braun Breaker. Okay. That's technically a rematch from this past weekend that happened at Stand and Deliver on Saturday. And Dolph surprisingly retained. But, of course, with him retaining now, and if he retains again tonight, like, Steiner is going to be up on the main roster, you would have to assume. Because what else is there for him to do down in NXT? Naomi gonna roll Rhea back into the ring. Big leg drop, cover, and a kick out at 2.5. And we take a commercial break. So we'll get back to the action in a second. We're also about a half hour or so away from tip in the March Madness College Basketball National Championship game here this evening as well, with Kansas and North Carolina. So we'll be watching both of those once that tips from down in the bayou. But get back to the action here on Raw in a minute. And we'll see where they go from here, because, I mean, good start, like I said. I could see this show not necessarily getting off the rails, but, and hell, not even taking a turn for the worse, but just good start, but then, you know, can't keep it going. Like, it just dries up, it stalls out a little bit, you know, until a little bit later on. I mean, I would most definitely think now, yeah, Reigns is going to be the main event. Maybe that's why, of course, we had Stone Cold a few times this past weekend. He could be on Raw tonight. Not for that, but, you know, maybe something backstage, or come out and stun somebody for the hell of it, just to, you know, pop the crowd. But, of course, you mentioned earlier, you know, rumors speculating that he's injured. He, you know, might have to do this or that with the title. Hope to God not. That's going to fucking suck if so. You know, it's going to throw a wrench into their plans, but they'll figure something out. But if they're going to pull the trigger on it this early, with what I'm getting at, rather than waiting until early next year, you know, Royal Rumble on the road to WrestleMania 39, because, you know, for the most part, we know we're going to be getting Roman Reigns and The Rock next year at Mania for the most part. And then at that point, as mentioned before, in my opinion, Reigns needs to beat the Great One to solidify himself as the tribal chief who sits at the head of the table of the bloodline. But, of course, to end the show last night, you know, he won, held titles, they faded to black, and that was that, you know. Maybe that's why they didn't do it then. They're saving it for tonight, and we get The Rock to close out Raw tonight to, you know, of course, create a buzz. But I feel they'd be, you know, sort of hurting themselves, but just, you know, giving it away, even though it's already been giving away. Because last time they did that, you know, Rock and Cena, 2 years in a row, Manias, 28-29, it's like, hey, next year at Mania, rematch. Or next year at Mania, we're having a match. And then the day after, next year at Mania, we're having another rematch. But, you know, we'll see what they do. They sort of have, no doubt about it, but I'm all for it, though, too, because, I mean, other than a few, at least character-wise, what Reigns is doing is awesome. There's a few that could dethrone him. They just haven't, you know, pulled the trigger on it. And rightfully so, no doubt about it. But, you know, of course, they could be champions, but he is. I mean, he's the undisputed champ now. But, you know, they have sort of backed themselves into the corner with, well, he's beating everybody. What are you going to do next, other than have him continue to beat everybody? But then you think about it, whoever does end up beating him, that's going to be a big deal, because it's going to be a big shock. Like, oh shit, whoever it is just beat Roman Reigns. So, and as mentioned this past weekend, I can't remember if I said it Saturday or yesterday, that I've thought recently they have, depending on the situation, done a pretty good job of long-term booking. But I'll digress on that situation for the time being. In the meantime, we're back to it on Raw. Back from break. They're already showing off the WrestleMania Backlash graphics as they showed that video package last night as well. That'll be Sunday, May the 8th. So I'll have live watch along reactions live right here on YouTube. Then, so be sure to tune back in, youtube.com/GreatOnRing. But a women's tag team match here on Monday Night Raw after Mania. And this is a Champions Contender match with the new women's tag team champions, Naomi and Sasha Banks, taking on Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. Powerbomb, and then Rhea going for the missionary pin. Sasha kicks out at 2.5. Match continues. Rhea, well, Naomi just botched that kick. And Rhea just botched getting out of the damn ring. Jesus Christ. Naomi tags in. Rhea just sort of backfired on Liv and might have honestly cost them this match. Cover 1, 2, and 3. Naomi and Sasha pick up the win over Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan as Liv takes the pin. So, of course, if Rhea and Liv would have won in this Champions Contenders match, they'd get a championship opportunity. Well, they lost. So, Naomi and Sasha still your women's tag team champs regardless. But now they don't have any contenders. But they got a month to, figure that out if they're ever going to do anything with the women's tag team championships, because they've had these damn titles now for a few years, and it seems like they've never hardly ever done anything with them. Minus, say, if they have a 4-way at WrestleMania every fucking year. But yeah, Rhea sort of misstep or something, I don't know. And now they're both in the ring, and they're teasing Rhea and Liv breaking up as Rhea walks off without her. And Liv Morgan's like, what the hell? Like, what'd I do? Here comes the prize fighter, Kevin Owens. Of course, Saturday night of WrestleMania, he had the KO show with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he is wearing his KO Mania shirt. Of course, that match, or the segment, turned into a match. It was no holds barred with Owens and Austin. So as Owens walks down the ring, it seems like they're speeding up, entrances and timing with everything they have planned for tonight, trying to make sure they get everything in. Cut to commercial break real quick. We'll get back to it here in a second. But we'll see what Owens has to say, because he's in sweats and a t-shirt, so I doubt he's going to be wrestling here. I would hope this Raw tonight's going to be better than last week's, but I get it. They tied up all the loose ends, crossed their T's, dotted their I's, all that. Get into WrestleMania, which, as mentioned myself, really wasn't that excited for, minus a few things per night. But from start to finish overall, it was a good show. And now here we are tonight for the Raw after Mania. So, we'll see what Owens has to say. I'm sure somebody's going to come out to him too. I doubt it's Stone Cold, but you just never know. Because, Cody cut a promo and then Rollins came out. They shook hands and that was that. So, this episode of Raw tonight, honestly, could be tying up all the loose ends coming off of Mania now before, little things here and there, starting new feuds, but then, later this week and then next week's show, really get in the thick of it. WrestleMania Backlash, but at the same time, if WrestleMania Backlash is going to be a lot of rematches. Well, they're not going to start new stuff until after that, so that's another month from now, and then you get into Hell in a Cell, Money in the Bank, and then SummerSlam. But yeah, Kevin Owens had a big night during WrestleMania Saturday at the KO show, and for him to be in a segment and then have a match with Stone Cold Steve Austin, I mean, talk about, Cody Rhodes not necessarily needing to, but, it makes sense, because if not, it'd be a big disappointment. Winning a championship within the next calendar year. I've said recently as well, too, with Kevin Owens re-signing, as of late, that he also needs to be in position for that now, too. But only time's going to tell, and, at the end of the day, once again, they're going to do what they want anyway, so is what it is. They know we're going to sit down here and watch, talk about it, but Owens in the ring. Here we go. What's KO have to say? He may have made a mistake. You don't say so. He had Stone Cold on the KO show, got some what chants from the crowd. Trending number 1 in the U.S., hashtag WWE Raw. Be sure to use that hashtag when you share this live watch on reaction stream on social media. And once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. The Texas Rattlesnake is still great. And Stone Cold came out again last night, too, and stunned the boss once again. Vince's stunner, no doubt about it, the worst of all time. He kicked him. He fell to his knees, had to pick him back up and then stun him. But Owens, of course, tricking Stone Cold into a no-holds-barred match, because it was only a show, and then, it turned into a match. Watch the footage, he says. So we're going to watch the footage. Owens complaining now that he hurt himself before he had the match. He was in the gym and he lifted too much weight and he hurt himself. They needed Kevin Owens to deliver a great WrestleMania match. This is a damn good promo by Owens right now. For all of us. Yeah, hell yeah. It's even bigger for me, even bigger for Owens. Who the hell's coming out? Ezekiel Jackson? Or no, that's not Ezekiel Jackson. Who the fuck is this? It's fucking Elias. What the fuck? What in the fuck? Elias is now Ezekiel. He's in tights. He doesn't have the beard. He still has the hair. Is this Macho Man in 2022? Like, what the fuck? Owens has a disgruntled look on his face. Like, what the hell? Jesus fucking Christ. Booking. Jesus Christ. Who the hell are you? Elias, says Kevin Owens. Is that you? No, it's Ezekiel. Walk with Elias chant, yes. This isn't going to get over. Who the hell do you think you are? This isn't not going to work. I am not Elias, says Ezekiel. Shut the fuck up. Yes, you are, chant. This is not going to work. This is a one-time thing, even though they're going to shove it down our fucking throats the next couple months. I am Elias's younger brother, Ezekiel. Jesus Christ. Walk with Elias chant. This is not going to get over. This ain't going to work. No way in hell.
The name is Ezekiel.
The name is Ezekiel.
What?
What? Says Kevin Owens.
What did you just say? You're not Elias or Ezekiel. No. I recognize those eyes.
I recognize those eyes. I know who you are.
Okay.
Elias is trying not to laugh.
I am Elias's younger
I am his younger brother,
Ezekiel.
Ezekiel. Yeah, Owens, along with everybody else, including myself, not buying one bit of it. He still has beer in his ears. He can't hear, can't see, nothing. You're Elias. So, stop the bullshit.
Okay? Oh, if you hate liars, well then, you must hate yourself.
You must hate yourself if you hate liars.
Because on Saturday night,
You lied to Stone Cold,
Stone.
and you got stunned. Where's Stone Cold at when you need him? Come out and stun this, phony. You got stun chant. I used to like you, and now I don't. I never liked you, and I like you even less now. Elias, Ezekiel, Eric, Enrique, whatever the hell your name is. This is pretty funny. Yeah, 10 seconds, get the hell out of the ring. You're going to get stunned. This is bad for Elias. Like, they're just waiting to fire his ass. Crowd chanting and counting down from 10. 3, 2, with what chance in between? 1, and here comes a stunner. Actually, Owen's going to leave the ring. Okay. And this is so bland for Elias as well. And at first, like I said, I thought it was Ezekiel Jackson. I did, because all it said was Ezekiel on the fucking screen. And it's like, peaches color with some white and yellow in it. They're gonna give a shout out to Bad Bunny, who I guess last night won a Grammy. A couple weeks in a row. You have a few award shows that, whether you watch them or not, all they do is create drama, it seems like. But, WrestleMania's this weekend, so we were watching that. Here comes Dominic Mysterio. Ray and Dominic, but Dominic with his own entrance. So this looks like a singles match for Dom. Coming up next on Raw, and indeed it is, against The Miz, who teamed with Logan Paul over the weekend. Miz and Logan Paul defeated the Mysterios. But then afterwards, Miz turned on Logan Paul. So Miz is going to be another one potentially, in the mix for a championship opportunity, I would think at some point in time, down the line. But you got to feel bad for Elias. You do. I mean, that was rumored to, have happened, or should have happened, I should say, like when they were going to return to the road last summer. Like, because he had cut his hair, shaved his beard. He still has long hair, but it's shorter than what it was. No beard. He's, clean shaven. But, the story goes that they didn't know what the hell to do with him. Well, it seems to me they still don't know what the hell to do with him, but just go out there and make yourself look like an ass, and, yeah. No more Elias. He's Ezekiel now. You got to feel bad for him. You do. That's what I said. It just seems to me like they're just waiting to fire him. Which, hate to say it, but, if this doesn't work, that'll probably happen. And I can already guarantee you, this is not going to work, I don't think. That's my opinion. Yours in the comments below, but it might. but I highly doubt it. Like, this is so, basic with what some NXT 2.0, superstars are right now. This is what, you would see if you created a wrestler on the new WWE 2K22 game with what Elias Ezekiel is doing right now. But, they'll probably shove it down our throats and make us, buy into it, even though we're going to hate it. And, man, just, we'll see where it goes. But, yeah, I mean, I guess that is a surprise, because, honestly, when was the last time anybody thought, let alone talked, about Elias or his new name, Ezekiel? Let's just call him Zeke. Can we call Elias Zeke for short, for the hell of it? Why don't you have him come out in a, football uniform and run around people and try to run through people? I mean, just, what the hell? As Jericho once said, bad booking from bad creative. That's exactly what the hell that is. I mean, it sort of did turn into a funny segment, once Owens started going off on him. But still, man, like, come on, what the hell? But then you can also say, well, at least it was on TV. And no, this is bad. Good start now, sort of going downhill. But we got a singles match here with Dominic Mysterio and The Miz now. So we'll see how this goes. But either the 9 or 10 o'clock hour. Well, actually, this will be the 9 o'clock hour, unless this goes, less than 5 minutes here. Bianca Belair, new Raw Women's Champion. She'll be on Raw tonight as well. Still got that 6-man tag, remember? With RK Bro and Finn Balor taking on the Usos and Austin Theory. The NXT Championship will be on the line as well, along with Veer finally coming, and then Roman Reigns, the new undisputed WWE Universal Champion. So, a recap from the tag match with Mysterios and Miz and Logan Paul. Miz and Logan Paul won, but then post-match, Miz turned on one half of the Paul brothers. Jake was in attendance. Logan wore his Pokemon card to the ring. But, I mean, typical heel for Miz. That was a big shock. I don't think really anybody honestly saw that coming. Now, if they would have lost, okay, that's a different story. But they won, and then he turned on him. But that's the thing, like, turn on him, get him the hell out, because, well, Logan Paul is not going to be around. So, and then that gets, Miz heel heat, and you move him into, positive direction after Mania. So, bell rings, match underway. Here we go. Dominic Mysterio and The Miz in singles action on the red brand. And Dom already has Miz in position for a 619. One, two, three. That was a quick match. Miz picks up the win after a skull-crushing finale. And, I think that match was shorter than the New Day Peaky Blinders match last night. That was supposed to be the night before. They cut it and then moved it and then only gave it about a minute or so. This match was, probably about 30 seconds or so. So 9 o'clock hours still could be. Holy shit, it's Veer. Veer has finally come. He quit deciding to blue ball himself and came to Raw. He's coming out to The Miz. After The Miz defeated Dominic Mysterio in a squash match. Veer Mahan, the former Pittsburgh Pirate pitcher, is on Monday Night Raw. And Miz is going to run for his fucking life. Actually, Veer's coming for the Mysterios now, because they're in the ring. As Miz decided to run like the scuttled dog he is. Veer attacking Dominic, and now Rey Mysterio. Big clothesline from Veer. Alright, so they're going to have Veer be a powerhouse. I think more people are going to buy into Veer than they are Omos. I mean, hell, the Vignette's been running since like September. And now, he's finally been reborn as, a singles competitor. Remember, he used to be with Shanky as Jinder Mahal's, security, basically. So, yeah, Veer just attacking Rey and Dominic Mysterio here, following Dom's loss to The Miz on Monday Night Raw. So, yeah. Months and months, more like, at least, it felt like years and years. Veer's on Raw. And he attacks the Mysterios, so... Boos from the crowd after a big pop when he came out, but then the attack on the Mysterios, well, he's a heel. He did what he was supposed to do. Of course, crowd not liking it, but... Going to show a replay of the brutal attack, the assault, if you will. But... yeah, Rey was going to try to get him into a 619 position. It just got fucking clothesline. And then a big power slam. And ref had to actually come in and tell him to let go because Dom was begging for his life, tapping the hell out. But Veer is on Raw. Still to come, the undisputed Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, on Monday Night Raw tonight. Triumphant return to Raw. Hell, he was on Raw last week. Give me a break. Now we got some WrestleMania graphics from all the news outlets with what happened. Yeah, Mania was good this year. It was. The build was shit, I thought, but they did put on a good show. So, I mean, basically now, put two and two together. When the build shit, hopefully you get a good show. But then when the build is, like, great, you might get a good show. But then, you're probably going to get something average. You might have a good match or two, but nothing from start to finish that's like, okay. Too much to talk about. Like, even with all the time in the world, here comes Bianca, 9 o'clock hour. Okay. Just, yeah, good show. We're still going to recap everything. Probably, honestly, going to hold off on that until the end of the show now here tonight. But, the EST of WWE, even though she didn't establish shit, Bianca Belair, your new Raw Women's Champion, defeating Becky Lynch to win that title. She's coming out. It looks like she's going to cut a promo. So, I'm sure somebody, probably Becky, maybe Bayley returns. Maybe somebody else, maybe somebody gets called up. Elias has been the only surprise so far. But it looks like they're stage-wise setting something up. And they're going to go to commercial break. So up next on Raw, we'll have Bianca Belair in the middle of the ring. It looks like she's going to cut a promo. Now we got I believe, WWE Shop commercial with highlights from Mania this past weekend. Yeah, there's only one place to go, WWE Shop, unless, of course, you're buying the stuff at an actual event. So, commercial break, and we'll get back to it in a minute. So, they've gone men, women now, right? Actually, men, women, men, women. Yeah. Because you had Cody and Seth, you had the women's tag match, and then Owens with fill in the blank, whatever you want to call Elias, Ezekiel. That segment, the very quick match with Miz and Dom before Veer came out, and now Bianca Belair. So we're an hour in, 2 to go. Still a lot of wrestling to get through, but I would think for the women's division, because Bianca's next, Raw Women's and SmackDown Women's Championship. One, if not both of those championship matches we saw at Mania on night one, both are on Saturday. We'll get rematches with those at WrestleMania Backlash, I'd have to guess right now, unless they're going to do something else starting when we come back here. But really, only time's going to tell. We'll see here. But Bianca 2 years in a row winning gold at Mania. Last year, she won the SmackDown Women's Championship, defeating Sasha Banks in the process of doing so. And then this year, defeating Becky Lynch, basically re-winning the title she lost to Becky at SummerSlam after the man returned, and then defeated her in, probably about the same amount of time. Miz just beat Dominic Mysterio in. But that was, of course, SmackDown Women's Championship, because since then, with the draft and then switching the titles, Becky was SmackDown Women's Champion. She became the Raw Women's Champion after that, and then Bianca just beat her. So, come full circle with that. Here we are. About to tip off here with the Jayhawks and Tar Heels as well. National Championship game for Division I college basketball to end the season on a high with arguably two of the best teams the past month or so. I mean, they sort of are, because they're playing each other. They're in the national championship game. One team's going to win, one team's going to lose, and baseball begins on Thursday with opening day. But one day at a time. As tonight, Monday Night Raw. NXT that I don't watch anymore with the new rebrand 2.0. That'll be tomorrow night. AEW Dynamite Wednesday. And then Impact New Japan Thursday. With SmackDown and AEW Rampage Friday. But so once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. Be sure to subscribe, red subscribe button, notification bell next to it as well. The easiest way to stay up to date is, in fact, on social media. So scroll down, check out Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and subscribe right here on YouTube. And be sure to keep an eye out for upcoming videos as well in the near future. Back from break, Bianca Belair in the ring. EST chant. She wants to say thank you. She takes her sunglasses off, and that's either a good makeup job or she does have a black left eye. Yes. You deserve it chant. Same old with her. Same exact thing that happened last year. WrestleMania, she won the title. Now here we are again.
I stand here with one eye tonight.
You stand there with one eye. Technically two. The one's just bruised, so, give it a break. But okay. And still trending #1 in the U.S. Hashtag WWE Raw as we're live from Dallas on the USA Network and live right here on YouTube with some live watch-along reactions.
And I will never ever take for granted where I am because I learned that just like that, it could all be taken away from you.
Very true.
And that hurts.
Very true. You deserve it. No, she doesn't. Chant, I believe, from the crowd, if I'm not mistaken. As mentioned this weekend, and I've said, numerous times before, I just don't get, I'm sorry, her or Sasha Banks. Basically, long story short, why people like them. Because they honestly really can't wrestle. They can't. But because they're popular, for the most part, they're giving it their all. They're not, terrible, because if they were that, well, they wouldn't be where they're at. But still, just don't get it with why people like her or Sasha. But I'll digress. Everybody has their own opinion. That's mine. Yeah, once you get on top, it's harder to stay on top than it is to get on top. It's like winning a championship. Any sport. You win the Super Bowl, you win the World Series, you win the Stanley Cup, win the national championship that's about to tip off once again here shortly, among other sports. If you win the title, and whatever you're in, it's hard to win it. It's harder to repeat. Get to the top of the mountain. Well, now you got to find a way to stay on top. Strongest. Bullshit. EST my ass. She's on her own all right, even though she's married to Montez Ford. Now she's getting pyro. So this is just a celebration for Bianca Belair. Well, somebody's got to come out and interrupt, you would think, right? No. Just a simple promo by Bianca, and that does it. Up next, we'll have the NXT Championship on the line. Dolph Ziggler and Rex Steiner, Braun Breaker, who inducted his father and uncle into the WWE Hall of Fame on Friday night, Steiner Brothers, Rick and Scott Steiner. If only Braun Breaker's name wasn't Braun Breaker, unless they're going to change it if he's going to be up on Raw and SmackDown full time starting soon. Okay, that's a different story. But what the fuck kind of name is Braun Breaker? Talk about basic and generic. But in NXT 2.0, like I said, I haven't watched it since the first episode of the rebrand back in September. I haven't. Give him one chance, 2 hours to try to convince me. Didn't work. And, with Dolph Ziggler as your NXT champion and Mandy Rose as your NXT women's champion, two people have been up on the main roster for, quite a number of years. I mean, that smells like desperation to me. But here come the Dirty Dogs. Rude and Ziggler. You gotta feel bad for Bobby Roode, too, to be honest with you, because he really hasn't done anything lately, other than just being a tag team with Dolph. But up next, he's still Braun Breaker for the time being, but it'll be Ziggler and Steiner. NXT Championship on the line next on Raw in a rematch from TakeOver Stand and Deliver from Saturday afternoon, as I mentioned, in which, Ziggler retained in a bit of a surprise. But we'll take a break in between entrances here and have the NXT Championship on the line when we return. Most stupendous WrestleMania this past weekend. Here's a SmackDown promo. This Friday, for the first time ever, we'll have Reigns on SmackDown after he's on Raw tonight as the new Undisputed Universal Champion. He's currently holding the WWE Championship and the WWE Universal Championship. And it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to keep the two titles as they are or introduce a new title belt or not. Or maybe he just relinquishes the one, keeps the one. They have a tournament of some sorts to determine a new champion for whatever title he's not going to have, and you're back to two champions, because I think it's only a matter of time, unless, like I said earlier, a few times recently, they're going to have him, knock on wood, hopefully he's good to go and not severely injured and not going to hardly miss any time at all. Have him be the Undisputed Champion and then just continue to beat everybody. And then maybe you introduce a new championship, sort of when they introduced the Universal title, back in 2016. So then you'd have an Undisputed Champion and then, maybe bring back the World Heavyweight Championship or, figure something out, which they'll do. But at the same time, too, talk about Reigns and potential injury. Like, other than house shows, on TV at least, pay-per-views included, really he only wrestles like maybe once or twice a month. It's been a lot of backstage stuff and promos in the ring. Maybe an attack or, something along those lines, but, I feel like Roman Reigns is going to be okay. He'll be fine. I do. Because I actually earlier went back and rewatched that main event from last night. And that's what I said. It did seem, well, at first, left shoulder of Roman Reigns, his non-tattoo arm, that the early belly-to-belly suplexes from Lesnar, he landed awkwardly the one time it seemed like, but then he really did it. It seemed like on the spear in the timekeeper's area ringside, because he was holding his shoulder and he said something to Heyman. But then later on, of course, in that arm lock, before the rope break, once again, you could hear him say, "My shoulder, it's out, it's out." But then after he had won, you could see him grab the rope, and Cole even said, like, it looked like he just popped the shoulder back into place. So, I think he'll be okay, I do. But we're, not officially going to know until, hear it from the horse's mouth. But that'll be later on. Reigns going to be in the main event, seems like. But up next, NXT Championship on the line on Monday Night Raw. Ziggler awaiting his opponent as he wears his Kent State Golden Flashes sweatshirt. As the sirens blare, we count down, and here comes Rex Steiner, Braun Breaker. Gonna challenge once again for the NXT title. Who? Dolph Ziggler about to defend the NXT title. Remember, on a Raw after Mania a good decade ago now, he won a championship title, the World Heavyweight Championship, via Money in the Bank cash-in on Alberto Del Rio. He just retained the other day. Does he win again or lose it tonight? We'll see. Because if he retains, Steiner's going to be up on the main roster, you would think. But if he, Braun Breaker this is, as he gets introduced, recaptures the NXT gold, well, he'll be in NXT then, for a little bit longer. But should be a good match. Should be a good match. Ziggler went to slap him, completely missed. Slaps him again, right across the face this time. As they'll display the NXT Championship, clarifying that this is an NXT Championship match on Monday Night Raw. So here we go. Bell rings, and Steiner going to drive him into the corner. The first time last month I saw that in person. And be sure to go check out all recent and keep an eye out for upcoming videos from pro wrestling events. But be sure to go check out videos from all the pro wrestling events that I've attended live in Living Color, live right here on the YouTube channel, in the concert/event playlist. And keep an eye out for some upcoming ones over the next weeks and months to come. Nice big elbow drop there by Dolph. Kick out at 2. Braun wearing his black Breaker singlet rather than his Candyland themed one. Ref has to get Ziggler off of him. Rude telling him ringside give up. But big kick. Is that all you got? Oh shit. Rex catches him midair and wasn't a spine buster, but he did slam him down. In the meantime, we're underway in the national championship game between Kansas and North Carolina to end the college basketball March Madness season. Let me know in the comments below who you have winning that, along with this match, and what you've thought of Raw so far, along with all the matches still to come. That I believe, honestly, just includes now that we're almost an hour and a half or so in. So, about halfway through, or half to go. The 6-man tag, along with the Reigns. I don't think there's anything else they've advertised or announced already tonight that has or hasn't happened already. We'll take a break in the meantime as Ziggler drop kicks him off the top rope. One thing I did like that they changed, and they're keeping it at least for tonight. We'll see officially if it's going to be here to stay or not come Friday Night SmackDown. But the corner LED board on the barricade, I mean, it really only displays the entrance graphic and then the show graphic. Like no highlight that would be shown up on the Tron by any means. But, of course, that came to be this weekend for Mania, still every night for Raw. So I like that. I mean, sort of a new touch, rather than just your, typical barricade. But, small little change. Doesn't, hurt it at all. I mean, we haven't seen anybody go through it yet, though, or be thrown at it. But, yeah, we'll see what they end up doing with this or that. Because remember last year for the Raw after May, that's when Adnan Virk had made his commentary debut for the WWE. And then, hell, he didn't even last a month, I don't think. And then they brought in Jimmy Smith. And then, of course, hit the road last July. And everything's been back to normal for them since then, it seems like. But it seems now that we're, a good way through the show. They're now really, at least during these matches, really starting to work these commercials into it. And we're going to get commercial after commercial after commercial. Which, of course, unless you're there, you're of course seeing everything. You're not going to see this, what we're seeing now. But I get it's TV, 3-hour show. Like, really, it's only like a 2-hour 15, maybe 2:20, 2:30's pushing it. Because you're going to get, a good 20 to 30 minutes of commercial. But, I mean, for Ziggler and Steiner here, I mean, I'm not going to be shocked if Dolph retains, but like I said, desperation for them in NXT. It's like, why fix what ain't broken? Other than a power play. Like, they didn't need to switch it, but they did. I mean, from what I've heard, it seems to an extent like it's starting to get good. Like, they're starting to truly find their feet with what they want to do. But I sure as hell still ain't going to be watching it because, like, I know how it was. And then you have to watch this, and it's just no, like, once again, why fix what ain't broken? And then chant. Pat McAfee back in the Heartland. Not going to be on Raw tonight. He's only on Raw once. It was 2 weeks ago when they were in the Windy City. Whenever Owens had kicked off the show as Stone Cold. And, of course, continuing the Austin Theory feud. He defeated Theory last night, but then lost to Vince. And had his show today, so he's getting back to normal. after Mania weekend, and he'll be back on commentary Friday night on SmackDown. Steiner, belly-to-belly suplex on Dolph. Off the ropes. Hoo, 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 chant. As Steiner is going to undo his singlet after a big clothesline to Ziggler. Staring him down, Rude up on the ring apron. And then a quick roll-up from behind from Ziggler. Cover 1, 2, and a kick out. And then Steiner going over the top rope and with a flip taking out Bobby Roode. And more hoo 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 chants. Running knee. And then a zigzag from Dolph. Cover 1, 2, kick out 2.5. Match continues.
Take a look at the athleticism earlier on of Braun Breaker, launching himself, clearing the top rope with ease before crashing down into Robert Roode, who's been a
Ziggler tuning up the band, gonna go for a super kick. Breaker catches him. Gonna press him into the air. No, I think Ziggler just poked him in the eyes. And then a super kick. Dolph with a cover. 1, 2, and Ziggler still the champion for the time being, but Rex Steiner kicks out, so we're going to continue on.
in an almost identical sequence of events from this past Saturday, almost defeated Braun once again.
Ziggler telling him to get up. He's going to go for another super kick here. Try to, at least. He's probably going to hit him with a spear, though. Super kick into Rex Steiner, Braun Breaker spear. Yeah. And this is for the NXT Championship. Hashtag that when you share. Spear from Steiner. Presses him into the air. And then power slam cover. This should do it. 1, 2, 3. And Rex Steiner, Braun Breaker is your new NXT champion once again. Okay, so they do this tonight on Raw rather than at TakeOver Stand and Deliver on Saturday. If only his name wasn't Braun Breaker, you know? Like, he's your new NXT champion now. Who's going to come out to Breaker right now, or hell, even tomorrow night on NXT? But Breaker 1-9, we got a convoy, and Braun Breaker's your new NXT champion. Some highlights with the replays. Good match. You know, they got a couple minutes in there before the commercial break, and then, yeah, 2-part match. Hoo, hoo, hoo. They're acting as if he's never won the NXT Championship before, because he's the new NXT Champion. Yeah. If you know, you know. And he holds the NXT Championship upside down. Now we got the almighty Bobby Lashley coming up next on Raw after he returned a week ago on Raw. Challenged almost, and then beat the Giants' ass last night at WrestleMania. So another commercial break. Bobby Lashley going to be up next. When we come back, though, I'd have to guess we're probably going to go to something backstage, or they'll run a video package on something, and then Lashley will come out. it doesn't seem like the Hurt Business is, going to be together anytime soon. Like, they've truly split them. And was it last week? Maybe the Raw before that I had attended. So, I mean, a few weeks, months in between. Speaking of the Hurt Business, dark match wise, before Raw for main event, that Veer's been dominating. And then he, finally comes on Raw, but it looked like at one point in time in back-to-back matches, just with the one guy's ring gear, and then the next match that followed, that I believe it was Cedric, not Shelton, yeah. They want to do that to the gold standard. In the end, it wasn't, though. It looked like Cedric jobbed I think it might have been Veer, but it wasn't him. But then the Hurt Business, long story short, what's funny about it, they came out next to have a match, and just from a distance, looked like Cedric had wrestled back-to-back matches, and just because of the ring gear, like it was that similar, but it ended up being some local enhancement. But Bobby Lashley's back. He's by himself for now, unless MVP comes out with him tonight. Or maybe they go old school, like SmackDown 2005, 2006, and MVP comes out to challenge him, and they have a feud one-on-one. That'd be something. Because, of course, Lashley was the WWE champion from right before Mania last year until football season rolled around, before Big E cashed in. Big E lost it to Brock. Brock lost it to Lashley at the Rumble before, Brock re-won the title at Elimination Chamber. That's when they ran the injury storyline with Big Bob Lashley before he returned last week. So he's going to be coming up next on Raw. Of course, Lesnar, the WWE champion, lost in the biggest WrestleMania match of all time. It was winner-take-all championship unification against the big dog, Tribal Chief, who we should all acknowledge, who sits at the head of the table, Roman Reigns. As Reigns, still to come tonight, looks like the main event segment, the new undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world. But Brock's probably honestly going to be taking some time off. Probably won't see him until summertime sometime. Whether that's June, July, August, after Hell in a Cell, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam. Not unless it's coming out to Bobby Lashley right now, which I highly doubt. But back to Monday Night Raw. They're going to promote WrestleMania Backlash for next month. And before break, they said the almighty Bobby Lashley was up next. So here we go. MVP is in the ring. What do you know? Montel Vontavious Porter's in the ring. So maybe they are going to get the Hurt Business back together. Actions speak louder than words.
To introduce to you tonight a man whose actions spoke volumes at WrestleMania.
Lashley's actions spoke volumes at WrestleMania. Yeah. Beat Almost, who, really isn't that great to begin with, but okay. Yeah. So, why doesn't he turn on you when he comes out if he doesn't need you? The almighty Bobby Lashley and the old school pyro entrance for him. streamers. Bobby Lashley on Monday Night Raw. And it seems like he's going to be a face rather than a heel. Which, and speaking of Bobby Lashley and Raw after Mania, yeah, he returned to the WWE a couple years ago on the Raw after Mania, if I'm not mistaken. So, whether it's hurt business or not, it seems like Lashley's going to have MVP still manage him. Lashley getting the crowd pumped up. They hug it out. Somebody's running in. No? Crowd started screaming there for a second, like somebody was like standing there next to him. But a Bobby chant. Bobby Lashley couldn't resist. Almost powerful and scary. Yeah, my ass.
I would think to myself, are you really sure you want to do this?
They might have somebody coming out to Lashley here that's a, powerhouse as well in their eyes.
I knew that it could be done.
Maybe an Eli Drake LA Knight. What is this, TNA Impact from 8 years ago?
This man threw me all over the ring. This man was the strongest man that I've ever been in the ring with. The most powerful, the most...
He's putting Almost over in his promo, saying how strong he was and how tough it was for him to beat him.
And I knew that my one way to beat this man is if he made a mistake. And if you made a mistake...
So Almost made a mistake. He sort of did. He botched your spear. And then you did pin him 1, 2, 3, and yeah, you won. Here comes Almost. All right, so what, are we going to get a WrestleMania rematch with these two tonight? There's Almost. Undefeated streak. What, he had wrestled maybe 5 matches before that. You can't count that. And they're putting Lashley over on commentary right now, too. They might be continuing this. Or maybe is Almost going to join them? Are they going to get a new Hurt Business together? I want my frickin' rematch, says Almost. MVP on the mic telling the audience, the crowd, that Almost wants his rematch. Well, he ain't gonna get it. MVP from behind attacking Bobby Lashley. So they're putting MVP and Almost together and beating the hell out of Bobby Lashley now. So MVP does turn on Lashley. MVP does turn on Bobby Lashley on Monday Night Raw. And MVP has aligned himself with Almost. They're going to give Almost a voice, and that's MVP, because he can't talk, which is probably a good thing. Because if they're going to continue to push him and get him over as a giant, well, he needs a talking piece. I mean, okay, he still really can't wrestle, but at least MVP can talk for him. Lashley will be all right by himself. I mean, this is a win-win for both sides. And MVP turns on Bobby Lashley, and if they want to do one-on-one with those two at some point in time, well, he can do that now, too. Boos from the crowd. This is good. This is, yeah. You suck chant. I mean, I don't like almost, but MVP turn on Bobby Lashley, like, hell yeah. MVP with a kick into the corner on BL. And now almost gonna slam down Bobby Lashley like he's a tomato to make juice. And boos from the crowd as he stands tall over him. Buck Teeth McGee. Almost. As MVP turns on Bobby Lashley on Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 38. Alliance smells trouble. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It does. It's been a good Raw thus far, I've thought. Most definitely better than last week's. Now we go to commentary. What do we got? Get a recap from earlier with Rhea and Liv after they lost to Naomi and Sasha. Sort of splitting them up, it looks like. And now we go backstage to Rhea Ripley. And now Liv walks up. They're going to talk. Okay, Rhea and Liv got a tag team title match next week, I guess. Even after they lost earlier. So authority figures, post-Midnight appearance in Deville, like, who knows how much longer they'll be together. Corey Graves about to lose his shit. Here comes Carmella. Authority figure-wise, they have some leverage, of course. They can do what they want. But I feel that's run scores, but we'll see how much longer they do that. Yeah, here's Carmella and Zelina Vega. So they're really pushing the women's tag titles tonight, or at least women's tag team matches, because it looks like they're going to have a match next. Yeah, they're going to face Natalya and Shayna Baszler. So all four women's tag teams that were in the Fatal 4-Way at Mania facing off, 2-on-2, 2-on-2. And then since Rhea just announced that even after they lost Naomi and Sasha earlier, they got a tag team title match next week, well, I could probably guarantee you they're going to add in these two, and we'll have a Fatal 4-Way rematch next week on Raw with the same four competitors for the women's tag team titles. As I believe Raw next week's going to be in the Motor City. We have seen a few Little Caesars commercials tonight. Pizza. They'll be at the home of the Pistons and Red Wings, along with where, speaking of wrestling, the Penn State Lion wrestling team won yet another national championship in that very building last month, but I'll digress. So, yeah, event-wise, it seems like they have everything announced for the next. I mean, pay-per-views, those are good until the end of the year. Here we are after Mania now, It's always about 2 months ahead of time 2.5, 3 months maybe, depending on where it's at. They'll announce, and then tickets will go on sale. But as always, if you've never been to an event, whether that's AEW, WWE, let alone a sporting event in general, of course, highly anticipated and highly recommend going to at least one if you can. But if not, be sure to keep an eye out for upcoming videos, and be sure to go check out all the recent ones from events I've attended live and in color. Once again, monitor here on YouTube, including just from last weekend. Roman Reigns threatening to jump the barricade and then beat the piss out of the WWE Universe. Be sure to go check that out. But pro wrestling, as Cody Rhodes said, it's a love story. And it is. It's a soap opera, is all it is. It's storytelling. And as mentioned over the weekend, when it's good, it's good, but when it's bad, it's bad. It all circles back to the booking. If only that was better, everything else would, work itself out. At the end of the day, though, it's always going to work itself out one way or another. And they're going to do what they want anyway, so it is what it is. But back from break. Yeah, trading cards have skyrocketed the past couple years for all the collectors out there. Okay, so Zelina takes the mic, going to cut a promo before both Natalya and Shayna Baszler come out. Maybe they won't have a tag match because Zelina's sort of throwing Carmella right now under the bus, saying it's her fault that they lost. Preoccupied with a man who's an absolute fool, and of course she's speaking of Corey Graves, who's on commentary. Is Graves going to get in the ring? He's very handsome, says Zelina Vega. Is Zelina going to cheat on Alistair, Tommy and Malachi Black on Corey Graves? Zelina is not going to be one of Carm's bridesmaids anymore. It'll be the flower girl. Zelina turns on Carm. So, yeah, we're not getting that women's tag match. Zelina's turn on Carmella. Of course, they've teased this. They lose, and then now here's this. So Carmella goes to Graves for help. Zelina attacks her. Graves consoling. So are they going to have Carmella turn on Corey, or Corey turn on her, and the storyline-wise on screen at least they're not together anymore? They're going to make out live on Raw. Get the Edge and Lita bed in the middle of the ring, and let's go. Saxton doesn't know what to say. He's losing his shit, telling him to get a room. Well, Byron, go grab your toaster and jump in the tub. Okay, we got a segment with a recap from last night at Mania. Vince, and then Austin Theory and Pat McAfee match. Pat with the win, and then Vince got into the ring and had a match with the Pittsburgh native who played college football right down the road in Morgantown, West Virginia. and then all-pro punter in the NFL with the Colts. Of course, the host of the Pat McAfee Show. Pat defeated Austin Theory. Vince then got into the ring. Vince defeated Pat, and then Stone Cold came out and stunners to all three. Theory completely oversold his, worse than The Rock's. And then the worst stunner of all time, Vince's last night, Stone Cold kicked him. Vince completely just fell to his knees. And then Austin tried to, grab him and get him back up. And then he's still, falling down as he stunned him, basically on the ring apron at that point. And then it seemed like, Stone Cold was going to celebrate with McAfee. And then, of course, Stone Cold, and if you're, celebrating with the beer bath, well, yeah, you're going to get stunned one way or another. So, yeah, Stone Cold then stunned Pat. But then Pat, ringside, right as they were about to cut that segment before the main event, with Reigns and Lesnar, Pat was laying on the ground just drinking his beer. But, oh, hell yeah. Austin stunned the boss once again. Maybe Stone Cold's going to be on Raw next. No, it'll probably be that 6-man tag with RK Bro and Finn Balor along with the Usos and Austin Theory, if I'd have to guess. Since this is including Austin Theory and he's got a match up next. Hell, we might even go backstage to Vince talking with Austin Theory, for all we know. But bygones be bygones, my ass. Stunner. Yeah. At least on that replay with the highlight that they're showing right now, they got that good. They sort of bypassed it, but Austin lost his shit once Vince completely botched it. But of course, Vince ain't gonna give a shit. He's not gonna care. But I wonder if, because I haven't had Stone Cold's Broken Skull American Lager yet. I wonder if it's any good. If anybody does, in fact, know, let me know in the comments below. But go backstage, Austin Theory, Usos walk up, we the ones. The Usos got the dub, Austin Theory didn't, so A-Town is way down in the gutter because of the loss. Austin Theory is a good heel, it's just his damn gimmick with him taking a damn selfie every second. He's not Tyler Breeze. I had him beat, but you didn't beat him. That's the thing.
Mr. McMahon never makes a mistake, and I'm the best investment that he's ever made.
Theory's saying he's the best investment, Vince has ever made. A-Town down for sure, yeah, because you lost. You're down on the bottom of the totem pole, but yeah. Usos won, Theory lost. Here comes Orton and Riddle. RK Bro, let's let them know, bro. And, the 6-man tag's coming up next. Got your rules and your religion all designed to say, but when you stop getting broken, you stop questioning your faith. The Raw Tag Team Champions, Matt Riddle, Randy Orton, RK Bro, they retained at Mania this weekend over the Alpha Academy and the Street Profits. But up next, we got a 6-man tag with them and Finn Balor taking on the Usos and Austin Theory as, even though it was the second guy, I can't remember if it was Jimmy or Jey Uso, but one of them said to Theory, that, since they won, he lost. And then he technically lost twice because he lost to, an ex-NFL punter, Pat McAfee, which, that's nothing really to be ashamed of. But because Pat McAfee's Pat fucking McAfee. He has it. He knows what the hell's, going on. He knows what the hell to do. And You know, he just always knows, for the most part, 9 times out of 10, exactly what to say. But you know, lose to him, and then he, you know, Theory gets stunned by Austin, which, well, it seems like everybody, if you've been in the ring with Stone Cold Steve Austin before, you've been stunned by him. But a 6-man tag coming up next, and hey, here's the Sheamus meet and greet commercial that we saw a million times over the weekend. First time tonight though, but yeah, 6-man tag. Matt Riddle, Randy Orton, Finn Balor, RK Bro, and Prince, who should have become king back at Crown Jewel and had the King of the Ring, but he didn't. Lost to Xavier Woods, and now Xavier, hell, he isn't even king anymore because he got hurt. Sort of, you know, screwed that all up, but they don't care. It just honestly wasn't meant to be. But then, you know, with Balor, like, as U.S. champion, he should have had a match at Mania, as should have Ricochet with the Intercontinental title, but of course they didn't for either. Is what it is, though. Well. But yeah, it'll be RK Bro and Balor, Usos, and Theory. And, I mean, unless something crazy happens, RK Bro and Finn Balor are going to win this match, I would have to think. Theory, like I said earlier, you know, just looking at that graphic and the 6-man tag that's about to, you know, go down, you know, could very well be a contender for Balor's U.S. title. But yeah, they could have, back to with King of the Ring there, with Finn. He's a prince. They could have had him become king. You know, it made complete sense. But no, you want to do this or that, and then you don't do anything with it. Like, booking and then the payoff. Like, I get not all the time, you know, works itself out. But it's like, come on, man. Because it's the thing, if only sometimes so much better, like, you know, Raws, SmackDowns, pay-per-views, any wrestling in general, you know, would actually be worth watching. Like, sometimes it's like, what the hell, you know, but this, I mean, 6-man tag coming up should be good. Riddle did most of the work early last night. And speaking of them retaining, the Usos also retained, as they are still your SmackDown Tag Team Champions. They defeated Nakamura and Boogs, as both those Tag Team Championship matches kicked off each night, along with Triple H last night, saying thank you, and then placing his boots in the middle of the ring and retiring officially. But Orton's probably going to get the hot tag. Balor, after a RKO from them, probably hit a coup de grace, and that'll be that. They'll find a way to win. Theory's probably going to take the pin too, to be honest with you, because they won't. Well, I mean, maybe one of the Usos, because, well, they're on SmackDown. Like, they'll make people forget that happened on Raw, and they're back on SmackDown. So, yeah. Orton and Riddle, hearing voices in their head, gonna team with Finn Balor here, 6-man tag against Usos, who've been down since day one. We the Ones and Austin Theory, but here comes the Prince, Fergal Devitt. Countdown is on. We've got 1 hour of Monday Night Raw left here tonight. And after Cody Rhodes kicked off the show, 9 o'clock hour is Bianca Belair. Here we are at 10 o'clock, 6-man tag with RK Bro and Finn Balor. This is due battle against the Usos and Austin Theory. Main event, the undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Boos for Austin Theory. He's a good heel once again, but it's just his damn gimmick. Uso. Down since day one. The main event of Raw last week, they had RK Bro and the Usos in a regular tag team match before, there was no Alpha Academy, just the Street Profits came out. And then they got RKO'd, and then after Raw, go check out that video. It was a dark match. Well, first is going to be a tag match with RK Bro against Austin Theory and Seth Rollins, but then Theory got rolled up real quick, and then RK Bro left, and then they had a dark match with Austin Theory and Seth Rollins. Of course, that was won by Seth frickin' Rollins via pedigree and a stomp, I do believe, from what I can recall from that video. But meantime, here tonight, hashtag WWE Raw once again. Match underway, bell rings, here we go. Balor stomping Usos off the ropes, and then a quick roll up before a drop kick, cover, one, and a kick out. Tag made, Matt Riddle legal, and a kick to the chest, armpit area before a takedown. Uso's gonna drive Riddle into the corner though, and a tag made. So Jimmy tags out. Here comes Jay. Now Austin Theory is legal. They're just gonna work one after another. Riddle looking to tag in either Finn Balor again or Randy Orton here. And then an from the crowd. Got Edge live on Raw tonight as well. He sort of has a new stable, it seems like, at least a tag team for the time being with him and Damian Priest. As, sort of, it made sense after that with Priest causing a distraction to AJ Styles, and then the front on the forearm turns into a spear out of midair, and then Edge beats AJ. We'll see what's next for AJ. But Edge going to be live tonight, but no, it made sense with Priest and not, challenging Finn at Mania for the U.S. title. And it seems like for a few people, oh shit, nice takedown, and Riddle holding his left knee. Hopefully he's okay, as he just drug his feet from out under him on the ring apron, and then hit hard, and then hit the floor then too. But in the meantime, a commercial break. So get back to the 6-man tag in a minute. But no, like they seem to know what they want to do with this person or that person. And then a few others, okay, they're doing this or that, whether it's making sense or not. Well, whatever. But then others, it's like, come on, like what the hell? Like they shouldn't be doing this, or like why isn't this person doing something? Or just it's all about the booking. And if they're not getting booked right, or if they are at all at that point, like just sometimes you got to feel bad, but then some people it's like, yeah, all right, whatever. But I mean, return surprise wise tonight. Okay, we had Elias as Ezekiel. I wonder what his E name's going to be next week, along with MVP turning on Bobby Lashley. Everything else, like, good show, but nothing out of the ordinary. Like, for the most part, just a normal Raw. Not unless they have something big planned to end the show, like I had mentioned earlier, potentially, if they're going to pull the trigger on it now rather than wait. But I'd wait, I would. Because then, like I said, you're just going to give that away. And we'll get more into that discussion later if it happens. But, I mean, honestly, I highly doubt it. So we probably won't have to. I said what I said earlier, and if you're just not tuning in, well, you can go back and check that out. But so once again, thanks for tuning in, of course, and listening. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe on social media. Links in the description. Chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers. Always greatly appreciated as well. Commercial break here with 6-man tag ongoing on the Raw after Mania. One of the most highly anticipated WWE TVs of the year. Once again, because it sort of sets the course for the next year. At least for the next, few months or so. Because, of course, yeah, you have your, 4, 5, 6 pay-per-views that are your big pay-per-views, and then everything else is a gimmick type of pay-per-view. Or trying to get revenge, whether it's Backlash or Payback or, whatever the case may be. Like, it's storytelling, folks. It is storytelling. So, of course, if something doesn't happen the exact way you want it to happen, or you didn't like this or, that, okay, I can understand complaining about it for a little bit. It's like, calm the hell down. Like, I know I complain about the booking, but that's what I said. When it's bad, it's bad. Or if it can be better, but it's not, and it's just stale at times, and they're, rematch. It's like, come on, But back to it. Kick out at 2.5. Riddle seems to be okay. The hard bump right before the break on the ring apron, holding his left knee, but Usos with a big punch to Finn, and then Orton backed away and saying, "You want to go? Let's go then." And then Riddle, in the meantime, with a running knee, gonna try to get Orton to tag in here with a hot tag. So we'll probably get some RKOs here. Usos make a tag. Riddle tags in Orton, so big clothesline. Another clothesline from RKO, Randy Orton. Oh, big power slam. This crowd's hot now. They're starting to feel it. And the Vipers looking to strike. Gonna go for a double or a triple vintage DDT. Theory just tagged himself in. But Orton doesn't know it. So maybe they get a cheap win out of it. Here comes Theory with a big drop kick to Randy Orton. But then Orton going to tag in Finn, so it's Finn and Austin Theory. Good 6-man tag since come back from break. Finn going to go up top for coup de grace. Coup de grace misses as Theory moves out of the way. Theory has him on his shoulders. And A-Town down, but then a sling blade from Finn. Cover. 1, 2, and then the Usos break it up, so match continues. Here comes Orton. Orton RKO on Jimmy Uso. Super kick from Jey Uso to Orton, but then Riddle off the top rope. He gets super kicked right to the gut by the Usos, and then Finn with another sling blade. Theory picks him up, has him on his shoulders again. A-Town down, and a cover. 1, 2, 3, and the Usos and Austin Theory pick up the win over RK Bro and Finn Balor. Good 6-man tag, great finish. But of course, they're going to tease, Theory going after Finn Balor in the U.S. title now because he just pinned him. Yeah, and he's going to take a selfie with him as well. Yeah. Good match, good 6-man tag. Theory celebrating with the Usos. They're going to take a selfie together now, too. I wonder if that's his actual phone or company phone they give him just to take all the selfies. Like, does he have any apps on that phone, or he just take pictures all the time? Edge going to be next after break, maybe? Yeah, Damian Priest with Edge makes sense. You know, like I said last night, it has that goth Undertaker-esque to it, it seems like. And who else could join? I had named off Dominic Dijak, potentially. If they're going to, revert him back to his old character. Saw earlier, if they'd want to add in a woman, Rhea Ripley would fit the bill. And I'm like, yeah, that would make sense. Actually, no commercial. Here comes Edge right now. New entrance and all. And as I mentioned over the weekend, yesterday, for his match with AJ Styles, it wasn't necessarily time for a change, but it's refreshing. It's not the rated R superstar. He's sort of like a cult leader. This is pretty sick. This is awesome. It's dark. It's grungy. And if they're doing this with him now, talk about Cody and Owens potentially getting WWE Championship opportunities within the next year. Well, Edge, in this, there's a new gimmick, but, or new character. Like, he's still Edge. It's just a darker side to him. He's going to be towards the top of that conversation as well. So he comes out, makes his entrance before the break, and they say next. Now we fade to black, and we'll get a commercial break before Edge, I believe, will speak when we return with a promo. So, yeah. Edge going to be probably, I don't know, getting interrupted by somebody, and then Priest takes him out. Or maybe they add somebody else to the mix. Like I said, I think men. Dijak makes sense. If it's going to be 3. 4 maybe with a woman. Yeah, Rhea makes sense. Of course, they could call somebody out from NXT. Harland, Parker Boudreaux, he would make perfect sense for this, I think. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But Edge in the ring, and we'll get back to Raw in a minute. But in the meantime, with less than an hour to go, because with Edge, I'm sure they'll have segment in between this and the main event, along with a commercial break or two, depending on how long they give Reigns. I don't know match-wise what that would be, unless they've already announced it, and I just, of course, at this rate, have completely forgot about it. It might be something backstage, probably something fucking 24/7 title, if I'd have to guess, but yeah, we'll see. But we're going to run down and give a full recap now, results of WrestleMania 38, both night 1 and 2, WrestleMania 38 Saturday and Sunday, respectively. So on Saturday, as there were no kickoff pre-show matches either night, and that's the other thing, too, like, with the mid-card titles, you couldn't have at least had them on the kickoff pre-shows. Like, it just didn't make any sense. Like, and you had to feel bad for them and the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal that, for whatever reason, Madcap Moss won that. I believe, for the most part, they've come out of WrestleMania injury-free, minus Madcap, or not Madcap Moss, Rick Boogs. And then, well, Roman, but we haven't heard from him yet tonight with how serious that actually is. But if it's the main event segment, like, you would think he's just going to get attacked, or somebody's going to come out and stare down, and okay, there's that. Well, maybe Brock, maybe The Rock, maybe somebody else we're not thinking of. But as I've stated before, I've felt Drew's going to be next in line for Roman after WrestleMania, but of course you still have SmackDown on Friday, so they could hold off on that until then, but yeah, they seems to be right, I guess. Yeah, come out of Mania unscared with no injuries other than those. Yeah, they're in Motown next week, up in Detroit for Raw, and then I believe Buffalo before they hit Rocky Top before the NFL draft. Edge is an honest man. We're going to recap Mania here in a second, so stay tuned. AJ was going to face his Judgment Day at Mania, and, well, technically he did just that. But he did it with some help, because Damian Priest with the distraction. Phenomenal Forearm turned into a spear, and Edge with the win.
Just like me. For too long, we tried to be a fine, upstanding role model for all of you sheep. Just like me.
And then turn to the dark side. We are sheep chant from the crowd. Oh my God. Where's the Wyatt family when you need them? Maybe Bray's coming back. Maybe the Fiend's going to join Edge's new cult. Or maybe he's going to challenge him. All rise. Yeah. The grand jury rumors. This might be that. The punishment for the guilty. Damian Priest. Yeah, this is grand jury. This is going to be good, too, it seems like. They need to give Priest his old entrance back, though. Because that would go so good with this. This, not necessarily, 100%, but gives me a feeling of, like, Ministry of Darkness Like it's just, very dark. So yeah, all rise. Priest is what Edge say again as they shake hands. As they both have mics now. Boos from the sheep. What was it about my message? Well, your Edge, for one. Yeah.
Weeks leading into WrestleMania, I was lost.
He has been lost. He has. This is perfect for Damian Priest, I think. We don't care, chant. You got to talk through it, man.
You know, there was a time where that would have bothered me.
That would have bothered me at one point in time? Well, not now from the sheep.
You know, I tried to please them. I tried to please everyone, well, except for me.
It didn't work, though.
That all changed when I heard your message.
We are losers chant from the crowd. They're sheep and now losers, and Priest saying thanks for letting us know.
I know you were speaking to AJ Styles.
Yeah, this crowd's getting hot.
But your message, it felt like you were speaking to me, directly to me. That's why.
Who's next? Who's coming to join?
To make the decision to pledge my loyalty to you. And it was the best decision of your life, man. But it's kind of
And long term, this is going to get Priest over because he's probably going to turn on Edge at some point in time, you'd have to think, even though they're just now starting this.
you decided to take your power back. What a coincidence. Now we judged AJ at WrestleMania.
Judged AJ. Yeah. The grand jury rumors.
My message.
This is this. This is that. Yeah.
Message.
Our message.
Now, AJ, I know you're going to keep coming. I wanted the pit bull. I got the pit bull. But the thing about pit bulls is they lack intellect. They only know fight. They don't know
Pitbull
fight.
only knows fight. Well, yeah. To an extent, that's true. Yeah.
Is fight. You have to think of your family. You have to think of your children.
Family and children of AJ Styles. Here comes a phenomenal one. Where's Samoa Joe at when you need him? Oh, Wendy. Well, of course, Samoa Joe's back in Ring of Honor. Styles coming out, and he runs down the ramp, attacking Damian Priest. And they're going to continue AJ and Edge for the time being, which is a good sign. Give me more AJ Styles and Edge as he takes down the Radar Superstar in the middle of the ring. Driving Edge into the steel post. AJ gonna go grab a steel chair, make that 2 steel chairs, and he's gonna do the same exact thing Edge did to him just prior to WrestleMania. Yep. But then Damian Priest out of nowhere attacking AJ Styles. So it seems like Edge and Damian Priest are just going to be a tag team for the time being. or a duo, not even necessarily tag team. But, and AJ's all by himself. So AJ's going to need a partner potentially if they do have a tag match. But Priest setting AJ up for an Edge spear. And I don't know what Priest did, but it honestly really wasn't much of anything. But Edge hit the spear on the back end of that, it looked like. And now they're going to do what they, have already done to AJ, and that's, of course, once again with the steel chairs. So unless somebody comes out to help AJ now, he's going to get what he already got. And now Edge just has help. When he already had done it himself, he has more help. But now you got some WWE officials out there. I believe that's Davari and Jamie Noble with referees. Thank you, Noble, or Jamie Noble chant. And we got a recap with a highlight here from the Triple Threat Raw Tag Team title match from last night, which RK Bro retained. But just prior to this Edge segment, we had a six-man tag in which RK Bro and Finn Balor lost to the Usos and Austin Theory. So I don't know why they're showing this now. They probably should have shown this before that six-man tag. All right, whatever. But a half hour left of Raw. They'll probably add in one more segment here. Probably going to be something stupid. Here come the Street Profits. Maybe two segments. They'll have a tag match, maybe. Street Profits Alpha Academy. And then 24/7, maybe. Maybe not, though. Hope to God not, but we'll see. But then, Reigns as the main event. So, here come the Street Profits. They want the smoke. But... yeah, Fallen Contest tag team match. It'll be the Street Profits, Montez, and Dawkins. And they will face, the Alpha Academy. Shoosh. Chad Gable and Otis. We might see Gable Steveson with this segment. But... okay, a tag match we'll give 10 minutes to, probably, if that. And then another commercial break, as we have one right now. It's WWE 2K22. And let me know in the comments below if I should, in fact, upload my character I created to community creations or not. But, yeah. 2K22. I've thought it's been a good game thus far. I have. Most definitely better than 2K20. And probably the, few before that. I mean, graphic-wise, damn good. Gameplay, also damn good. Probably one of the best 2K wrestling games they've had for the WWE. But wrestling game in general, best probably since, I'd say, SmackDown vs. Raw featuring ECW back in 2008. But then, of course, all the old N64 and GameCube wrestling games. Those are classics, no doubt about it. But, yeah, commercial break. We'll get a tag match next. We'll see if they run with Chad Gable and Gable Steveson in a feud or not. Because they sort of teased, just for the segment, they, toasted after the the win for RK Bro and the loss for both the Street Profits and the Alpha Academy, but they got Stevenson involved and teased potentially him joining the Street Profits, I thought, to an extent. But, damn well that's not going to happen. But at the same time, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. So, yeah, there's that. But then just the name Gable, like Chad Gable, and then, Gable Stevenson. Like, with Gable Stevenson now involved, like, Chad Gable is going to get the short end of the stick, and they're going to make him go back to Shorty G, probably. But the shoosh and the thank you, that stuff's hilarious. It's stupid, but it's funny. The thank you's funnier, I think, than the shoosh, but it's honestly probably the best thing he's ever done in his wrestling career, other than going to the Olympics. But that was amateur league. This is professional wrestling. This is WWE. And, they could play the Olympic card with that. They both went to the Olympics. Chad Gable didn't win a medal, whereas Gable Stevenson won a gold medal last year. And all the broken freaking neck like Kurt Angle, but then they could, bring back Angle and, have them, be a tag team or a stable if they're going to have him join him and Otis, or, talk about short end of the stick. Otis that, go back to, because it's the Alpha Academy, when at one point in time it was American Alpha with Gable and Chad Gable, this is. Kevin Costner telling us so that, we don't kill sheep, we kill wolves. So Edge technically can't kill the WWE Universe now. But in all seriousness, no, yeah. At one point in time, it was American Alpha with Chad Gable and Jason Jordan, but of course he got injured. Here comes the Alpha Academy. It is Chad Gable and Otis. So, if they'd want to kick Otis out and then change the Alpha Academy back to American Alpha, and then make, it seem like Gable Stevenson is Jason Jordan, they could play that card too, because, they can do what they want. But tag team match here, Street Profits and the Alpha Academy on Monday Night Raw before the main event still to come with Roman Reigns as the new WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. But, this match is pointless, honestly. It is, because they both lost yesterday. Nonetheless, Gable Stevenson's getting involved in this. This is pointless. Thank you. Yes. Okay, here comes Postman Adam Pearce. Okay. What are we going to do? No countouts, no DQs, anything goes with a tag team match. Now a Texas Tornado match on the Raw After Mania from Dallas, Texas, with the Street Profits, the Alpha Academy. And it's going to start right now. Ring the damn bell. Okay. Yeah, you don't have to tag in. It's anything goes. Like, you just fight. So, yeah, if somebody doesn't get involved in this finish, like, come on now. But Montez doing exactly what he did last night, jumping over the ring post into the corner, right in front of the timekeeper's area, taking everyone out. So this is the same tag match. It's Texas Tornado now rather than a triple threat tag team title match. But it's the same match as we saw last night. Minus RK Bro, and yeah, it's anything goes. We want tables chant. Cover, one, and a kick out. Otis getting kicked into the corner. Gable with a suplex, but Montez landed on his feet. Vertical suplex. And a cover. 1, 2, kick out. And then Dawkins going to go for a DDT maybe before a chop block from behind by Chad Gable. Why are they showing that damn replay again of him jumping over the ring post?
Let's be honest, Montez Ford is the next level. See it a million times, won't believe it. Right now, it's not where Montez Ford wants to be. Alpha Academy in control. They've shown great communication over the last few weeks. The Alpha Academy has done a phenomenal job of taking the crowd out of this. Taking the
Okay. Yeah, this is pointless. This is just like, what the hell? This is just to fill time before the main event. It's like the worst two spots for Monday Night Raw are the second and next to last segment. Because the second is right after the opener, and then the next to last is right before the main event. So in the meantime, we go to commercial. They preview NXT for tomorrow night. New NXT champion once again, Rex Steiner, Braun Breaker. So they'll finish this tag team match when we return, and then we'll get Roman Reigns in the main event. But recap WrestleMania 38 from this past weekend now. On Saturday, we had the Usos defeat Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs to retain their SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Drew McIntyre defeated Happy Corbin after Madcap Moss won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on SmackDown the night prior. The Miz and Logan Paul defeated the Mysterios, but then post-match, the Miz turned on Logan Paul before he defeated Dominic Mysterio earlier tonight on Raw, before he ran off when Veer finally came to Raw, and then Veer attacked both Rey and Dominic Mysterio. Bianca Belair defeated Becky Lynch to win the Raw Women's Championship on WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes returned to the WWE as well before he kicked off Raw earlier tonight. And then him and Seth freaking Rollins shook it out with a handshake. But in the match at Mania, Cody defeated the Architect 1, 2, 3 with a Crossroads. Charlotte Flair defeated Ronda Rousey to retain her SmackDown Women's Championship. And then in the main event, it was the KO show with Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin before it turned into a no-holds-barred match with Stone Cold picking up the win after a stunner before celebrating with a beer bath to end night one of WrestleMania 38 Saturday. And then last night, we kicked off the show with Triple H. As mentioned, he retired due to medical reasoning and left his boots in the ring, making it official. He said, "Welcome to WrestleMania," before we had the Raw Tag Team Championship match. That was a triple threat with these two teams that are currently fighting on Raw as I speak during the commercial break, with the Alpha Academy and the Street Profits both losing to RK Bro, who retained, who then earlier, like I said, lost in a six-man tag with Finn Balor against the Usos and Austin Theory. We'll get to Theory in a minute. Bobby Lashley defeated Almost at Mania, but then tonight, of course, MVP turned on Bobby Lashley and is now the voice for the Giant. In a Jackass Anything Goes match that was absolutely hilarious from start to finish, including a giant mousetrap with the pin. Johnny Knoxville defeated Sami Zayn, so we'll have to see what Sami says on SmackDown Friday night with the conspiracy against him. Sasha Banks and Naomi are your new women's tag team champions. They defeated the former champs in Carmella and Zelina Vega, along with Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, along with Natalya and Shayna Baszler. We just saw Edge and Damian Priest on Raw. Priest came to Edge's aid and distracted AJ from the phenomenal form to a spear out of midair. Edge defeated the phenomenal one AJ Styles at WrestleMania, and then they beat AJ up here tonight on Raw just a minute ago as well. We had a tag team match that, for whatever reason, got cut and then got cut some more because it was only about a minute or so long. The Peaky Blinders, Sheamus and Rich Holland, with Pete Dunne and Butch in their corner, defeated the New Day at WrestleMania before Pat McAfee made his WrestleMania debut, defeating Austin Theory in the process. But then Mr. McMahon, chairman of the board himself, Vince Kennedy McMahon, got in the ring and then defeated Pat McAfee by punting a football to his gut and then covering him for the pin, 1, 2, 3. So we saw both Stone Cold and Vince wrestle at WrestleMania this year. So yes, Pat defeated Austin Theory before Vince defeated McAfee. And then last night in the main event of the evening of night 2 of WrestleMania 38 Sunday, it was the biggest WrestleMania match of all time, a winner-take-all championship unification for both the WWE and WWE Universal Championships. It was the WWE Champion, the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, challenging the head of the table, the Universal Champion, in Roman Reigns, and the big dog, Tribal Chief, who sits at the head of the table, who we should all acknowledge, who's on God mode, who we're about to see in the main event of Raw coming up shortly. Roman Reigns defeated Brock Lesnar to become the new undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world. Raw after Mania, almost in the books now tonight as well. Frog splash off the top rope in the co-main event with Montez Ford through a table on Chad Gable with the cover, 1, 2, 3. So Street Profits pick up the win over the Alpha Academy. And coming up next, we will have that big dog, Tribal Chief, who sits at the head of the table, who we should all acknowledge, who is now, once again, the undisputed Universal Champion in the WWE, who yesterday at WrestleMania, he showed up and won. He wrecked Brock Lesnar and left. He's on God mode. Roman Reigns coming up next. And now we're going to get a recap from the biggest WrestleMania match of all time, winner-take-all, championship unification with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns for both the WWE Championships and Universal Championships. It was a good match. The finish, though, seemed a little fast, but with the circumstances right there, when he speared him through the barricade, that's when at first he was acting like his left shoulder was messed up, and then the lock before the rope break, and then the push off the ropes, the spear, cover, 1, 2, 3, he wins. But of course, it could all just be a ploy as well, and we're about to find out if Roman Reigns is going to be the undisputed Universal Champion for the time being or not. But Roman Reigns coming up next on Monday Night Raw. The undisputed Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, on Raw, up next. So they fade to black one final time. Quarter till. We'll come back here in a couple minutes, probably 10 till. He'll get his entrance. He'll talk for a minute or two. Somebody will come out, if anybody at all. I mean, you would think somebody's coming out because this is ending the show. Who's it going to be, though? That's the thing. Because they're not going to end the show with him just saying, "Acknowledge me." I highly doubt, unless he is legitimately hurt, injured, and he has to get surgery, that he's going to relinquish both titles. He might give up the one. and then that'll be big news. But he's also going to be on SmackDown this week. But he's also going to be on both Raw and SmackDown moving forward if he's going to be the Undisputed Champion, though, too. So, like, we'll see how they play this. I honestly don't know. We're about to find out in live time. So, I've thought it's been a good Raw. I've thought it's been a good weekend for the WWE. It's gotten better each night. From the WrestleMania Raw and WrestleMania SmackDown last week, Hall of Fame, WrestleMania 38 Night 1 on Saturday, and WrestleMania 38 Night 2 last night on Sunday. Now here tonight on Monday Night Raw, the Raw after Mania. As mentioned, I thought it's gotten better each night. So, SmackDown could potentially be good on Friday night, but surprise-wise, returns for really nothing special. But we've still got, less than 15 minutes to the top of the hour to end the show. But, hey, we'll see what they do once again. But Roman Reigns coming up next. Just once again, thanks for tuning in and listening. WWE Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 38. Live watch-along reactions. Live right here on YouTube. YouTube.com/GridironRing with myself, your host, Encyclopedia Sports. Cool and Luke 96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Thumbs up button. Share. Hashtag WWE. Hashtag WWE Raw. Hashtag WrestleMania for the hell of it as well. WrestleMania 38 weekend is now in the books. And chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers, always greatly appreciated as well. But when we come back from break here, Roman Reigns will be on Monday Night Raw.
Crunchy made me CEO of the Stacks.
100% real milk chocolate and crispy rice really works. Crunchy makes work friends real friends. Start crunching today.
AJ Styles and Damian Priest next week on Raw, it looks like. Yep. That should be a good match. AJ Styles and Damian Priest next week on Raw. Along with, as they mentioned earlier, it'll be Naomi and Sasha Banks against Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan in a women's tag team championship match. Even though they lost the championship contender match earlier tonight. Along with Rey Mysterio. Is he going to take on Veer? Yes, Rey Mysterio and Veer next week on Raw. That should be a banger. LOL. And now, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. Thank you, Mike Rim. I literally just said that word for word before you said it. I'm not patting myself on the back, but here's the big dog tribal chief who once again sits at the head of the table of the bloodline, who we should all acknowledge. He's on God mode. He was the Universal Champion walking into WrestleMania this past weekend. But now, after defeating Brock Lesnar, he now holds the WWE Championship as well. And he is, in fact, the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world, Roman Reigns. We the ones, throw him up, and you better damn well acknowledge Roman Reigns. Yeah, he seems okay. He seems fine. Heyman carrying both titles. He's the greatest on a different level, God mode, if you will. Usos, SmackDown Tag Team Champions. buy his side as well. Throw him up with the ones in the bloodline. Yeah, he seems fine. I'd be worried if he fucking was going to walk out in a sling or something like that, but no, he's not giving up these damn titles. He might give up the one, but he's not giving up both. But if he's going to be the undisputed champ, that's fine too. He's fine. He's okay. Because of it, I mean, still a legit injury, which it seemed like it was, you know. Separated shoulder, pop your fucking shoulder back into place, for God's sakes. Like, I mean, that's a big deal, but sometimes those things, yes, they require surgery, but sometimes they don't. You know, so he might have got lucky. Like, that's what I said. If he did have to, you know, relinquish both titles and be out for a while, like, that would fucking suck. Especially with everything they've done, absolutely suck. But, you know, as it would have, you know, threw a wrench in the plans, they'd figure something out, of course. But that's what I said, too, when he faces The Rock next year at WrestleMania, unless they do it, you know, sometime, you know, sooner, as Heyman hands over the titles to Reigns, who then hands the titles over to the Usos. So Jimmy and Jey Uso have the WWE and Universal Championships high in the air as they have the SmackDown Tag Team titles around their waist. None of this, if he loses to The Rock, I'm going to look back on it, okay? And it's like, what the hell? Like, pointless then at that point, you know? Like, why did you do all this to do that? He needs to beat The Rock when they face, because then that would solidify himself at the head of the table, the true tribal chief of the bloodline. Because if you go back 2-3 years, a year from now, throw him up, we the ones. We'll say, what was the point of all this if he loses to The Rock? That's why he needs to beat The Rock, and then he needs to beat him again in a rematch. He's not giving up these titles. He might give up the one, he's not giving up both. He's fine. He seems perfectly fine. I'm sure he's in some pain. I'm sure everybody fucking is from this past weekend, for God's sakes. WrestleMania, you go out and showcase all your talents. There's the bloodline. 4 titles now rather than 3, because Roman has 2 himself, and the Usos have 1 apiece for the Usos tag team, well, 2 total. And the bloodline is on a different level now. I mean, you can tell he's in some pain. That left shoulder, yeah. He seems fine, though. He does. And Heyman with a mic. Got 5 minutes. What are you going to say? Hopefully it's nothing bad. No bad news. He's going to say, Dallas, acknowledge me. Or Raw after Mania, acknowledge me. Roman chant. Not Roman sucks. Roman, Roman, Roman. And he asked Heyman for the mic. And here we go. I know what you want. We all know why you're here. But we're going to switch them up. Oh, shit. Wise man.
Why don't you go ahead and explain the bloodline success?
Heyman's going to explain the bloodline success. Alright. Single longest reigning tag team champs. And then Roman Reigns is the longest reigning undisputed champion now, if you will. Roman Reigns, throw him up, we the ones. He's on God mode. He's number one in WWE's book. He's this generation's Bruno, Andre, Hogan, Stone Cold, Rock, and Cena wrapped up into one. Heyman talking about box office. Paul Heyman talking about box office with Roman Reigns being a draw. 3 minutes. We got 3 minutes. We'll see who's coming out, if anybody at all. Acknowledge Roman Reigns if you haven't done so already. If Cole was still in the company and he's undisputed champion now, Adam Cole, baby, that would make perfect sense for him to, come out. But of course, he went to AEW. Shocking the system on Wednesday and Friday nights. Roman chant from the crowd. Roman has the mic back in his hand. What's good for Roman Reigns is good for WWE.
And it's no secret. With me at the head of the table, the billion-dollar deals are coming easy.
With Reigns at the head of the table, everything's coming in. He's the last needle mover. He's constantly operating on God mode. Good promo by Reigns and the Bloodline here. It's much more than that. I'm a man of my word. He called his shot, and he did deliver. He won both titles. He's the undisputed Universal Champion now. He smashed them all. That's the past. He's looking to the future.
They hang their hat on this weekend, but that's not who I am, because we're never content. I'm
A progressive tribal chief. He's constantly moving forward. This Friday on SmackDown, he's going to let all of us know what the next step is then. But until then, Dallas, WrestleMania weekend, acknowledge me. And that's how Raw is going to end tonight. We the ones, throw them up. And closing credits, and that'll do it for Monday Night Raw tonight. So I guess we'll have to watch Friday Night SmackDown this upcoming Friday night to see what they have in store. It honestly, might just be to buy some time if he is hurt. Potentially get a second opinion and figure out what they're going to do. He seemed fine, though. I don't, think he's going to have to give up either title. But as I've said, I still think, unless they're going to have him be the undisputed champion for the next year once again, that he might give up one title and be, just the WWE champion or the Universal champion as he was. Just so they have another championship, a main championship, that is. But at the end of the day, a year from now, he's going to be facing The Rock at WrestleMania 39, and he's going to be kicking the Great One's ass to once again solidify himself as the true tribal chief who's at the table in the bloodline. So, yeah. we'll see how SmackDown is this week. No live watch-along reactions, unfortunately, though, at this point in time, live right here on YouTube. But just be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Red subscribe button, notification bell next to it as well, so you can stay up to date. Like, follow, and subscribe on social media, links in the description. So yeah, just do all that. Like, follow, and subscribe. Keep an eye out for upcoming videos as well. Yeah, that'll do it for Monday Night Raw tonight, for the WWE Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 38. Following WrestleMania 38 weekend, with the two-night most stupendous affair in WrestleMania history. But at the end of the day, Roman Reigns is still your big dog who sits at the head of the table, who we should all acknowledge. He is the new WWE undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world. So, yeah, we'll see what they do. Raw was, pretty good. I mean, wasn't, nothing spectacular by any means, but it was all right. Of course, as always, for anything could have been better. But they leave, with a cliffhanger. And they're going to make you want to, tune into SmackDown on Friday night now. So, yeah, like I said, we'll see what they do. Reigns, for the time being, he's going to be on both Raw and SmackDown because, well, he is the undisputed champion. And rightfully so, no doubt about it. He's going to be pulling double duty. At least for TV. House shows, well, if they're running 2 a night, he's only going to be at one of those. But if they're going to, super show that, they'll have one show then, and, they'll have everybody there, it seems like. But, yeah. Overall, good weekend, I thought. Overall, good shows from WrestleMania till now, which, once again, if only the booking was better in this situation or that, it'd be so much better. Because, as long as I've been watching, or as long as anybody's been watching, and you've seen it, at its peak, at the top, and when it's good, because when it's good, it's good, and when it's bad, though. But yeah, it left with a cliffhanger. Had some good segments tonight. Match wise, nothing really stuck out. Best match, as mentioned, from Mania yesterday, the whole entire weekend, coming in, like I said, I thought there's, 2 good matches, per night on paper, and sort of really how it turned out to be. Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, along with Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then yesterday, AJ Styles Edge with Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. But the Johnny Knoxville, Sami Zayn, Jackass Anything Goes match was pretty good. That was absolutely hilarious. The McAfee Theory match was good, along with the McAfee McMahon match was also good. And of course, you have your entertainment purposes added to that as well, with Stone Cold and all the stunners and all the beer. But yeah, they leave Raw with a cliffhanger. I'm sure if they're wrestling a dark match right now, well, it ain't going to be Roman. It might be the Usos, but it might be somebody else. But hell, it might not be anything at all, because Dallas just got, a whole weekend of WWE wrestling, sports entertainment, if you will, With WrestleMania Raw last week, and then WrestleMania SmackDown with Hall of Fame both nights of WrestleMania 38, and then the Raw after Mania night. But yeah, as always, just want to say thanks for tuning in and watching, listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. And next pro wrestling live watch along reaction stream, as I look ahead, honestly, it's probably going to be WWE WrestleMania Backlash, to be honest with you. Recently, of course, have attended a few events. Be sure to check out those videos. Be sure to keep an eye out for some upcoming videos as well. We'll see if they do it at all. AEW Blood and Guts should be sometime soon. WrestleMania Backlash, Double or Nothing Memorial Day weekend. The NFL Draft at the end of the month, plus a few other videos. So, yeah, just be sure to subscribe. But I'll see everybody when I see everybody. I'll see you when I see you. Just as always, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. And I'll see everybody when I see you. But just once again, thanks. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Links in the description. And Roman Reigns, the big dog who sits at the head of the table, our tribal chief, who we should all acknowledge, who's on God mode, is the WWE Undisputed Universal Champion.